We're going to start in just a seated posture this evening. Go ahead as you settle into your mat and get comfortable to just find the seat that works best for you. And then when you're ready, we're going to sit nice and tall. You can have your palms down or up on your knees. And let's just take a moment, bow your chin to your chest, let your eyes close. Just take some nice, deep, intentional breaths. So we're not quite yet at the place where we're controlling our breath, so to speak, but just being aware of the depth of your breathing. You know, we get caught up in maybe just breathing up into our chest and shoulders, but really take that breath all the way down into the belly. Deep inhales through the nose or the mouth, whatever is comfortable to get started, and deep exhales the same through the nose or the mouth. Just bringing awareness to our breathing, making sure we're really fully engaging here. So as you sit and breathe and just kind of settle in, I want to thank everybody for choosing to be here together to share in this yoga practice tonight. It provides me with so many benefits that I wanted to share that with all of you, and I hope that it brings you something that you need tonight. And you know, last week, if you were with us live or if you watched the replay, we talked about intention and having intention with our practice. And while that is still important tonight, what I want to focus on this evening is opening our hearts. And so we're going to do that physically with a lot of different postures, but that can start right now as you breathe, just by letting down perhaps any barriers that are usually invisible that we start to build around ourselves in a time like this, a time of fear. Not that any of us have known a time like this, but a time where there's uncertainty, or a time where there's loneliness, or you know, just that feeling of discomfort or unease. Even if it's just for tonight, I invite you to just visually, within your mind's eyes, your eyes are closed, imagine those barriers, those walls, those restrictions around your heart starting to melt away. And we're focusing on opening our hearts in the hope that it allows us to be more joyful, to see more good, to practice more empathy in a time when maybe some of that is restricted and closed off. So taking a couple more deep breaths here, I invite you to put a little more intention to your breath, so sealing your lips, and if you can, breathing just through your nose. So lips are sealed, tongue to the roof of your mouth. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. Trying to match the depth of your inhale with the depth of that exhale. And with your next breath in, you're going to take your arms up above your head, reaching toward the sky, looking up, and exhale, twist to the left. So getting started just with a couple gentle twists, seated like this. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, twisting off to the right. Breath to movement as we inhale, reaching up. Exhale, twist off to the left. Inhale up. Exhale, twisting right. One more time on each side. Inhale up, exhale as we twist. Pause and hold here for 3 breaths. And with each inhale, imagine your spine growing just a little bit taller. With each exhale, twisting a little bit deeper. Maybe you look over that left shoulder behind you. Last breath, inhale. Nice and tall, exhale, twist. With your next breath in, your arms come up. Exhale, twisting off to the right. And once again, each inhale breath, imagining someone's got a string at the top of your crown pulling you a little bit taller, and exhale, twisting. Inhale, exhale, and one more time. And we'll stay in this seated position. Inhale, we take our arms up. Exhale, left arm down, right arm comes up and over, reaching to the side. Nice side body stretch. Again, breath to movement. Inhale up, exhale over to the side. Inhaling up and over, reaching tall. And exhale, trying to keep those shoulders nice and stacked. Nice side body stretch. Inhale up. Exhale over, pressing that opposite hip toward the mat as you reach away with that left hand. And last time here, inhale up, exhale over, holding here for 3 breaths. Maybe your eyes turn and look up at the ceiling. Inhale, reach, exhale, extend. And last breath here. And use that left arm pressing you up. Inhale, exhale over. 3 breaths on this opposite side. And again, working our way to open up those shoulders. Maybe your eyes are turned up toward the ceiling. Nice, and we'll stay for 1 more inhale and 1 more exhale. Inhale, pressing up. Exhale, our first heart opener here. We're going to take our hands behind us so our fingertips are facing our hips. And all we're going to do is start to arc our heart, arc our spine, open up your throat, and look up. Right, it's a little back bend here, a little mini heart opener as we start our practice. Closing your eyes. And taking 1 more breath. Slowly walking your way back up, and then you're gonna walk your hands out in front of you. So your legs are still crossed. Walk your hands out in front of you, reaching those fingertips away as you press your hips back. Nice stretch for your lower back, and then walk both of your hands off to the, let's see, I'm mirroring here, so it's gonna be your right side. And stay here for another nice, long, slow, deep breath. Walking back to center, walk your hands off to the left. Very nice, and then back to the middle. From here, you're gonna uncross those legs and just come up into a tabletop position. So in that tabletop position, your wrists are right underneath your shoulders, your knees are hip distance apart, and let's just start to shift our hips side to side. Any little subtle movements that you need or that you just find your body intuitively coming into in tabletop is just fine. We're unwinding our bodies from a long day. And the next time your hips are off to the left, let's press our hips back into a nice circle. So circling out the hips 3 times, off to the left. Nice deep inhales and exhales, and then we'll circle the hips off to the right 3 times as well. Last circle with the hips, and then find some stillness in that tabletop position. Make sure again that your wrists are right underneath the shoulders, and we're going to come into 5 rounds of cat-cow. So inhale, you're going to drop the belly, bring that heart forward slightly, and then exhale, pressing into the tops of the feet, your hands, and rounding the back. Inhale, drop your belly, head comes high. Exhale, round through the spine, and really pressing the space in between your shoulder blades up to the sky. Inhale, dropping the belly, and feel free to stay with your breath and your movement. Don't feel like you have to wait for me or slow down for me, anything like that. And then twice more, inhale and exhale. Last one here. And when we're in this cat pose, let's stay here for 3 breaths. So with your inhale, you're just going to stay and expand your breath in between those shoulder blades. Get a nice stretch. Let your head hang nice and long. Lengthen through your neck. And with your next exhale, take your knees a little bit wider. Press back into your child's pose, but before you come all the way down, take that left arm underneath your right and lay that left ear down on your mat. And reaching your fingertips up toward the top of your mat with your right arm. So a little variation on our child's pose, feeling a nice stretch across the shoulders, maybe into the middle of your back. One more breath here. And then coming out of that position, changing sides, take that right arm underneath the left, lay your right ear down, left arm reaches toward the top of your mat. And try and relax into this stretch. Not pushing anything too deep, but feel a nice gentle opening across the back of the shoulders, the middle of your back. All right, coming back up. I'm going to flip myself around, but you guys are going to stay just where you are. And before I do that, go ahead and take your right leg out to the side and come up. So you're in like a half kneeling with your right leg out to the side, okay? So that right leg's out, nice. And you're gonna inhale, take your arms up. Exhale, take your right arm down, left arm up and over. Inhale, taking your arms up. Maybe if you need a block, it might be handy here for your left hand as it comes down and your right arm comes up and over. Staying breath to movement here. Inhale up, exhale. Taking that left arm up and over your ear. Inhale and exhale. We've got one more round, and once again, as you come up and exhale, we're gonna stay for 3 breaths. So inhale, opening up through the shoulders, exhale, reaching through that left side body. One more breath here, pressing those hips forward slightly, getting stretch maybe across your hips and low belly. And then inhale, exhale, taking it off to the other side. That left arm comes down, right arm comes up and over, and again, pressing the hips forward as you reach. Nice long stretch from that right ankle all the way to the left fingertips. Or no, right ankle to right fingertips. Nice, and then from here, you're just gonna let that right arm drop and then press your hips back to your heels. Okay, if you have a block available, it might be beneficial to have it here, right? And just take a few more breaths as you engage in that stretch for that groin on the right side. So with your next breath in, you're gonna come up and then bring that right leg in. We're gonna change sides. Left leg comes out. Inhale, taking your arms up. Exhale, this time we're gonna take left arm down, right arm comes up and over your ear. Inhale, the arms up. Exhale, left arm, right arm down, left arm up and over your ear. Good, inhaling up and over. Inhale, reach. Exhale, right arm down, left arm up and over your ear. Got one more round left. This time we're gonna hold for 3 breaths. Nice, and start to press the hips forward slightly. We've got a little more time as we hold for 3 breaths. Looking up toward the sky, reaching with that right arm. And with the next breath in, taking the arms up. Exhale, right arm down, left arm up and over your ear, pressing your hips forward. Nice long stretch from the left fingertips to the left ankle. And finishing this exhale, you're gonna let that left arm come down, walk it back to center, press your hips back. The toes on the left side can come up or they can stay flat, whichever is more comfortable. And then if you have a block in front of you, or if you need a little bit extra space for your hands, go ahead and use that block and bow your head. Take a couple more breaths here. With your next breath in, rocking yourself back up to center, bring that left leg in. So you're back in that tabletop position. And from here, we're gonna tuck our toes, lift our hips, find that first downward facing dog. That first downward facing dog for me always feels just a little bit tight, a little bit bound up. So take your time. We're gonna take about 5 breaths here. So any movements that you need, I always like to pedal out my feet, meaning I like to take my right heel down toward the mat, straighten that right leg as my left leg bends, and then change sides. So straighten that left leg, right knee bends. Very nice. A few more breaths here. And now I want you to come up on both toes. Come all the way up on both toes. Bend your knees a little bit or a lot. Whatever you need to do to give yourself a little more space in your shoulders and in your spine. And then slowly start to bring both heels down toward your mat. Your legs don't need to straighten out. Just see how that changes things for you as you take your tailbone toward the sky. With your next breath in, come onto both toes again, and then walk your feet forward toward the top of your mat. From here, we're gonna be in our ragdoll pose. That's where we take both, grab both elbows, grabbing onto opposite elbows, bend your knees a little bit more, and start to hang nice and heavy in that forward fold. Letting your Chin tuck into your chest so you find some length in your neck. Close your eyes if you'd like. 3 more breaths here in this forward fold. And then from here, release your hands. We're going to inhale, take a halfway lift. Exhale, we're going to leave that right foot forward. We're going to take that left knee back. We're going to bring our left knee down to the mat. And inhale, taking your arms up. Exhale, open up at the elbows. And then really arc back. So your hips are coming slightly forward. Heart is opening. Elbows are coming down toward your ribs. And as much as this is a physical expression of a heart opener, of really broadening through the chest, again, bringing back to the mind's eye any barriers around the heart, any fears, any loneliness, any sadness, just letting it fall away, even if it's just for this hour, right? Even if we can just open up and be vulnerable just for this hour. And let our hands come down around that forward leg. We'll take our hips forward here. And if you have a block, you might want to use it here. And as you exhale, your hips are going to come back. That forward leg is straight. On an inhale, you're going to bring your hips forward, open up your heart, sending that energy forward and out. Exhale, rolling the hips back, straightening that forward leg. One more time, inhale, coming forward. And exhale, shifting the hips back. Stay for one more breath. Bending through that forward right knee. Inhale, taking the arms up. And then bring that right hand to your right hip and continue to arc back, reaching the left fingertips behind you. And then as you exhale, bring that left hand down. It can be on the inside of the right foot on a block, or it can be right on your mat, and you're going to open up the right arm into a twist. From here, you can either keep that left knee down, or you can extend that left leg so that you're in a deep lunge twist, so that left knee is now off of your mat. One more breath. As you exhale, release, take that right hand down to the mat. You're going to change sides, so step that left foot forward, take that right foot back, lower the back knee, and right away, inhale, taking the arms up, tucking the hips forward slightly. As you exhale, open up at the elbows, open up the heart physically, emotionally, mentally, taking your elbows down toward your rib cage. You feel a nice stretch and opening across the chest and shoulders. Nice, and then slowly you're going to release and take your hands down around that forward left foot, and maybe if you have the block, you want it here again. As you inhale, drop the hips, open up the heart. Exhale, taking your hips back, straighten through that left leg, bowing over that forward leg. Inhale, coming forward. Exhale, hips shift back. And we've got one more here. Inhale, shift forward. And exhale, shift back, staying for an extra breath over that forward left leg. As you inhale, I'm going to put a bend into that left knee again. Inhale, coming up, and then taking your left hand to your left hip, arcing back with that right arm. One more inhale. And as you exhale, bring that right hand down to the inside of the left foot, again on a block or maybe right on the mat, up to you. That left arm is going to come up. So we're twisting here, and then whatever you did on the opposite side, maybe you straighten that back right leg so that the knee is off the ground. Deep lunge twist. And work to pull that left knee in toward your body. Really hugging everything in here and holding for 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, release that left hand down to the mat. Stepping your right foot forward to meet the left. We're going to inhale at the bottom. Exhale, slowly round up. One vertebrae at a time, letting the upper body hang heavy. And once you get to the top, inhale, taking your arms up. Exhale, arcing off to the right. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, grab a hold of the right wrist. Exhale, arcing off to the left. Inhale, come up, interlace your fingers, placing them at the base of your skull. And then you're going to tuck those hips forward, open up the elbows, open up the heart. 3 breaths here, letting your head just rest nice and heavy in your hands. So you've got a nice grip at the base of your skull. And coming back to that intention of opening up the heart. And if you follow any energy work or chakra work, anything like that, imagine your heart chakra with either a pink or a green light, whatever speaks to you. And then start to imagine that chakra, that space around your heart, spinning in a clockwise motion. Just kind of bringing that energy down into the heart space. With your next inhale, come up nice and tall, keeping that energy spinning in that clockwise direction. Exhale, release your hands. Forward fold all the way down to your mat. Inhale, lifting halfway. Exhale, plant your hands, stepping back into that first plank. We'll stay here for 3 breaths. Nice. And with your next exhale, chaturanga, option to come down to your knees. Starting to feel better for me to come down to my knees. Not as much pressure along the abdominals. Exhale, come all the way down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Flipping onto the tops of the feet. And then exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths in that downward facing dog. You might notice that your downward facing dog feels a little bit more free this second time that we're here, which is always nice, always good feedback from the body. Come high on both toes and then exhale, take both heels off to the right. Both heels off to the right, feeling a deeper sensation along that right leg. And then back to center on both toes, both heels off to the left. Deeper stretch now on that left side. And then coming back to center, high on both of those toes. Exhale, bend your knees and either hop or nice big steps up to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reaching the arms up. Exhale, hands to heart. And from here, you're going to be stepping your feet all the way together, preparing for chair pose. So remembering in that chair pose, we're going to sit nice and deep, but we're also going to tuck our tailbone under and engage our abdominals as well. So with your next inhale, sitting down into your chair, tuck the tailbone slightly, looking up in between your fingertips. Knees are squeezing together. Exhale, bringing your hands to your heart. And then opening up the elbows off to the side, opening that heart. So tucking the tailbone, open the heart for 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, release, forward fold. Inhale, lifting halfway. Exhale, stepping back into your plank once again. Exhale, chaturanga when you're ready. Option to drop to those knees. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. From our downward facing dog, we're going to move into our warrior 1. So you're going to leave that left leg where it is. Inhale that right leg up. Exhale that right foot in between your hands. And in our warrior 1, our hips are square, our shoulders are square here, right? So our forward knee is bent. Yep, our hips are square, very nice. Good. And from that warrior 1, we're going to open up at the elbows, tuck the hips under. Nice heart opener here. Now, option to either stay here or if you'd like, find your hands behind you. So take your hands behind you if you have a strap, if you have a towel, a sock, whatever works, if you need a little more space, and then start to pull your hands away from your hips. Good, I'm going to give you one more option here. If you've practiced with me before, you know where this is going. You're going to inhale here, exhale, forward fold, taking your shoulder to the inside of that knee. One more inhale, and as you exhale, release, stepping that right foot back. Inhale here, exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Very nice. 3 breaths here in our downward facing dog. Gather our breath, slowing our heart rate down just a bit. And then we'll move on to that second side. Leave that right leg where it is. Inhale that left leg up. Exhale, left leg in between your hands. And again, in that warrior one, our back heel is down and at an angle, but hips are square, shoulders are square, arms are up. Inhale, taking those arms up. And exhale, opening up the heart, opening up the elbows, tucking your tailbone as you do that so you can arc your spine safely. As you tuck your hips under, your abdominals are going to engage for you and protect the low back. And then again, we've got that option. Take your hands behind you, binding your hands here and pulling the fists away. So we're continuing to open up through the chest, through the heart. And then that third option, if you'd like, exhale, forward fold, bringing that left shoulder on the inside of that left knee. Pressing into both feet, weight evenly distributed. We've got 1 or 2 more breaths here. Nice, and when you're ready, go ahead and release. Step that left foot back. Inhale here. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths. With your next inhale, come high on your toes, bend your knees, stepping your feet forward, top of your mat. Inhale here. Exhale, slowly roll up, taking advantage of the stretch along the spine. Inhale, your arms up. Exhale, right arm down, left arm comes over your ear. Inhaling up. Exhale, left arm down, right arm over. Inhale up. Exhale, taking the arms nice and wide, keeping your back flat as long as you can. And then draping your torso over your thighs as you forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, stepping back into that plank. Vinyasa. Again, always the option, as I said, to drop to your knees or shift right back to downward facing dog. But whichever you choose, if you've chosen that chaturanga, upward facing dog, and then we'll all meet in that downward facing dog. And from here, moving to our warrior two. So you're going to inhale, take that left leg up. Exhale, bring that left foot in between your hands, drop the back heel, and open up into your warrior two. In our warrior two lunge, our hips are nice and open, our hands are parallel. We're going to stay here for 5 breaths. Feeling free to adjust your warrior as much as you need to. Rarely do you ever land in a yoga pose and have it feel perfect, right? So feel free to kind of continue to open the hips, open the shoulders. Nice, and let's bring some breath to movement. Inhale, straightening the forward leg, bringing the arms above your head. Exhale, coming back into warrior two. Inhale, arms above. Exhale, warrior two. And we'll do that 3 more times. Inhale up. Exhale. Last 2, inhale, straighten the leg, bring the arms up, coming into that warrior two. And last time, inhale here. As you exhale into your warrior two, find that extended side angle. Left elbow to left thigh, right arm up and over your ear. And in this pose, take a little peek down at your left knee. Make sure that that left knee is tracking over those toes. So don't let that knee collapse in. If you do, just kind of pull that leg out to the side. Nice. Inhale, coming up, straightening the leg and the arms again. Interlace the finger, pointer finger extended, and then bring that left foot in. So you're in a nice wide leg position. Release your hands. Inhale here, exhale. Wide leg forward bend, reaching those hands out to the side, and then those hands can lay down either on the outside of your legs, and you can use your arms to pull you a little deeper, or you can grab the outside edges of your feet, whatever this posture allows for you. We'll be here for another 3 breaths. this next exhale, start to bring your left toes around back toward the front of your mat. You might need to hop your right foot back in a little bit. And we're gonna exhale over that forward straight left leg now. So we're in our head to knee or pyramid pose. Our hips are square, our shoulders are square over that left foot. And then reaching for that block if you think you might need it. Okay, so we're coming into our triangle pose, our trikonasana. So the block is going to be placed right on the inside of that left foot, and your hand is going to go on the block or on the mat right inside of that left foot, and then you're going to open up your right arm up to the sky. Trikonasana. Yeah, nice. I'm going to even take my block up one more level. You'll notice the more you play around with props, especially in this posture, for me, when I'm using these props, my spine, my back gets a lot more mobility and ability to open when I'm using this prop. Very nice. So we'll stay here for one more inhale. And as you exhale, take your right hand down and you're going to twist toward that left leg. Yeah, so right hand down, left arm up. And I've got my block. If you don't have a block, you could use, I don't know, a chair, a couch, a cushion, anything that's going to essentially just bring the ground a little bit closer to you. One more inhale and exhale here. And then releasing that left hand down. Block comes to the side. We're going to step that left foot back to meet the right in either vinyasa here or right back to downward facing dog, whichever you choose. Slowly lower down, inhale up. And exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths. And you stay where you are. I'm going to flip myself around just for switching sides. It's a little bit easier if I'm open toward you than away from you. All right, so coming into that warrior 2 on the right, left foot down. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, right foot in between your hands. Dropping that left heel and then opening up the hips. Coming into that warrior 2, 5 breaths here. Nice. Coming as deep as you feel comfortable into that lunge, just making sure the right knees are tracking over the toes. That's the most important thing. One more inhale and exhale. And then let's bring some breath to movement once again. So inhale, taking the arms above your head, straightening that right leg. Exhale, warrior 2. 5 times like this. Inhale up. And exhale, warrior 2. Nice. 3 more. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Last 2. Bringing the arms up, touching the fingertips, back down into our warrior. And last one. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, warrior 2, and then find right away that extended side angle. Right elbow to right thigh, left arm over your ear. Making sure, once again, the right knee is tracking over the right toes. Holding here for 3, 2, and 1. Pressing straight in the right leg. Bring the right arm up above the head. As you do so, turn the right toes in. And then as you exhale, take your hands behind you. So we're going to come into a bound wide leg forward bend. So if you need that strap, the sock, the towel, whatever you're using, grab that now. You're going to bind our arms. Inhale, pull the fists away. So spend an extra breath, just pressing your hips forward, opening through the chest and shoulders, opening that heart. Close your eyes. Inhale, exhale, forward fold. Send the hips back. Send your arms up and over your ears. I really love the bound forward folds, in case you haven't noticed today. But anytime you need to let go of this posture, please feel free. I promise the more you do it, the more open you become, the less painful it is for you. If you're still in that bind, inhale, pull the fists up and away. Exhale, drop the fists a little further for you, and then release the hands, bringing both hands down to the mat right in front of your face or onto some blocks, and then walk both hands off to the right. 2 breaths, 2 to 3 breaths with your hands off to the right. Okay, so as you come back to center, walk both hands off to the left, and then do me a favor, bend your knees just slightly, and then assess, are your hips even, right? So when we're reaching to one side,
Sometimes our right hip tends to, or when reaching to the left, our right hip tends to come forward. See if you can bend your knees and even out those hips. Press that right hip back slightly. Again, we don't have to have our legs completely straight. We can bend them so that we can keep our joints in line. Hoping that makes sense to everybody here. And then back to center. We're going to inhale, bring our hands to our hips. Stay through your exhale. Inhale, coming back to center. Stay through that exhale. And then we're going to turn our right toes toward the top of the mat. So getting ready for that head to knee pose on the right side. Inhale here, exhale, fold. Bringing our torso over that forward right leg. And then of course, if you would like a block here, feel free to use that. Knowing that our triangle or trikonasana pose is coming up, if you'd like the block, make sure it's handy. And then we're going to bring our right hand to the inside of the right foot. Inhale, spiraling open, taking that left hand up to the sky. Nice, yep. And your gaze, your eyes can either be looking up toward your left fingertips, or sometimes that's a little much on my neck, so I just look down toward my right hand, toward the mat. It's really whatever feels the best for you tonight. One more inhale. As you exhale, release, left hand comes down. If you use the block, you might want to even turn it up one level as we revolve our triangle or come into our twist with our left hand down and our right arm up. One more inhale here. And as you exhale, release. Right hand back down to the mat. Set the block off to the side. Let's go ahead and step that right foot back, either right back to downward facing dog or moving through your vinyasa. Inhale, upward dog if that's where you're at. Exhale, downward facing dog. Very nice. Take 3 breaths here. And start to walk your hands back toward your feet. Walking your hands back toward your feet. Now, I should have told you all to grab a block if you were going to use them, but go ahead and get one and then come back to where we are. We're going to take our feet a little wider than our hips, turn your toes out slightly, and you're going to drop your hips in between your heels. Okay, so that's where the block might come in handy, is you might want to put a block beneath your tailbone or beneath your sit bones, giving yourself a place to sit. Don't force yourself into this pose. If you can put something beneath you to where you can relax a little bit, you're still getting a great stretch. If you're here, bring your elbows on the inside of your knees and bring your hands to heart. And what you're going to do is just use your elbows to press your knees apart slightly. And you're kind of pressing your elbows into your knees and your knees into your elbows. And think about sitting up nice and tall, dropping that tailbone toward the floor and the crown of your head nice and tall toward the sky. One more inhale and exhale here. With your next breath in, you're going to bring your hands to the mat, hips up toward the sky. One breath in, exhale, yep, bring your hips right back down. You won't be here quite as long. Inhale here, exhale, hips up. Inhale, exhale, hips down. Last time. Nice. Very nice. Drop your fingertips to the mat, take your hips up. Inhale here. Exhale, slowly round up one vertebrae at a time. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, hands to heart. All right, let's shake the legs out. Any movements that you need, we're gonna come into a balance pose. We're gonna stick with tree tonight. Any variation of tree that you like. So with our tree pose, we'll start balancing on our left foot first. So with tree pose, you're going to start with maybe hands on your hips or hands at your heart, whatever you feel helps you balance the most. And you're gonna shift your weight onto that left foot. And you can either start with just a little kickstand, taking your ankle to the inside of
or excuse me, your heel to the inside of the ankle and keeping your toe on the ground. You might bring your foot up to your calf. You might even bring that foot all the way up to the inside of that inner thigh. So coming up to your variation of tree, pressing your foot into your thigh, thigh into your foot, or wherever that foot happens to be, and then finding the expression of your hands, taking nice deep breaths, finding your drishti. So your drishti in yoga is something in front of you that's not moving, that you stare at while you balance, which helps hold your equilibrium, helps keep you from falling. 1 or 2 more breaths in your tree. And then I want you all to come out of your tree pose whenever you feel you have control of coming out. So don't fall out and be done, right? Come back in if you fall out. But then whenever you're ready, go ahead and relax, come out of your tree, shake your legs out. Nice job. And then you're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So you're gonna shift your weight off onto that right foot, and then whatever expression, whether it's a little kickstand, foot to the calf, foot all the way to the inner thigh, whatever feels the best to you, and then settle in. Again, find that drishti, find your point of focus, keeping the breath nice and slow. Taking 1 or 2 more breaths, and then when you have control of that tree, same thing, you'll come out when you're ready. Very nice, and then shake those legs out. Shake the legs out, shake the arms out. We're gonna do a little bit more to stretch across the upper back and shoulders. We're gonna come into eagle arms. So you're gonna take your left arm under, your right arm over, right? So you've got this kind of elbows hooked. Now, for some people, for some of you, that might be it, right? Like that might be enough of a stretch. If you can, continue to wrap your hands so that you can bring palm to palm, okay? Or you know, close enough. There's no wrong way to do this, right? You might be here and that's fine. If you can grab palm to palm, that's excellent. Take your feet a little wider than your hips, because I want you to just start kind of moving your upper body around. We'll come into a balance from this, but move your upper body around. Maybe come into a forward fold where you let your arms hang a little bit in this stretch. And just kind of fly the eagle arms around, bringing them back up. Taking nice deep breaths. And then as you come up, I want you to start to take your forearms, start to arc back through your upper body. Start to take your forearms towards the sky. Right? So you don't have to get too far, but see how far you can arc back. Nice. And then exhale, slowly bringing everything back to center so your elbows are now parallel with the floor. So we've got left arm under, right arm over. So we're going to go left leg over. Yes, left leg over. So a couple options for your left leg over. You can simply bring that left foot just like this into a nice figure 4. Okay, that left foot's going to be over. If you're in that figure 4, you're going to sit down just for a moment. If you want to take that eagle further, you wrap that leg all the way around. I don't even know if I can hook it today. And hook that left foot behind your right ankle. Nice. And hold for another breath or 2. Squeezing everything in, and then when you're ready, feel free to stay there a little longer than me. It's been a while for eagle. Coming out, opening up the arms, shaking everything out. Good. We'll take a moment here, really let the arms kind of shake out, get the blood flow back. Good. And then we'll move on to the opposite side. So now we've got right arm under, left arm over, same thing. So it may be here, it may be different too. It might be different on this side for you. And then just start to kind of move the arms around, and then start to maybe allow the arms to come down toward the floor. Feel some opening in your hips as you open up the shoulders, and then coming back up. And as you come up again, we're going to take those forearms and bring them toward the sky, so slightly arcing back. Nice deep breaths. One more here as you exhale, bringing the elbows back parallel to the floor. So we've got right arm under this time, so that means right leg is going to be over. So option, figure 4 is one. Okay, coming into a balance here. Second option, starting to wrap. Option number 3, get onto some even ground here. Option number 3 is to bring that leg all the way around, hooking your toes behind that Achilles tendon. Nice. And then squeezing here, finding that drishti, and holding here for 3, 2, and 1. Stay a little longer if you'd like. Gotta come out and then open up the arms. Again, just kind of let the blood flow come back to the neck and shoulders, guys. Nice job circling out the arms. Good. All right, way to go. I wasn't necessarily planning on eagle, just so you know. You can blame Kelly for that, actually, because I wanted to get a little extra for the neck and shoulders, but it's always a great one to throw in, so thank you for that. All right, let's come up to the top of our mats. Last vinyasa, coming into pigeon pose. Always got to throw pigeon in there. So inhale, taking your arms up. Exhale, forward fold all the way down to the floor. Inhale, lift halfway. Flat back. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to that plank. Maybe right back to downward facing dog, or move through that chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's come into pigeon pose on the left first. So taking that left leg up, left knee to left wrist, left ankle to right wrist. And then before coming into that pigeon, take a moment to open that heart. And then exhale. It's always, anytime we come down into a pose like this, whether it's child's pose or into our pigeon, it's almost like to me, it's a physical act of surrender to yourself, to the world, to anything. So just kind of keep that in mind when we bow to ourselves, we bow to just something greater than us, I guess. And if this isn't comfortable, as always, you can come into a reclined pigeon. So stay where you're at if you're comfortable. Otherwise, you can be on your back with left ankle over right knee, and that will work for you as well. So we'll take a few more breaths there in our pigeon pose. Bringing some awareness into your upper body as you bow in this pigeon pose. And can you relax your chest and shoulders a little bit more? Can you deepen your breath? Put a little more ease into a pose that's pretty deep in our hips. And one more breath here. And when you're ready, out of that pigeon, but again, taking a moment for that back bend, that little stretch for the torso, and then you're gonna bring that left leg out and open up that left hip. Opening up that left hip, circling the left ankle around, and bringing that left foot down, changing sides. So right leg comes up, right knee to right wrist, right ankle to left wrist. Inhale, take a moment, open through the heart, exhale, bowing down, releasing that breath. And at this point too, feeling free to release that control over your breathing from the sense of, lips are sealed, and inhales matching exhales. But what I want you to keep intention on is the depth of the breath, that you're slowing the breathing down, the breath is still deep, that you're still intentional and conscious, you're aware of the breath coming into your body. Stay for one more breath here. And with your next inhale, pressing through your hands, getting a little bit of length, maybe a stretch through that left hip as you press, and then coming out of your pigeon however you need to, and coming back through the downward dog. Open up that right hip if that feels good to you. Circle out the right ankle, and then take that right foot down to the floor. I'm going to come into a seated pose from here, coming into right away our seated butterfly. We start to slow things down, take things down to the mat, and feet are together, knees are wide, sitting up nice and tall. Inhale, and then exhale, forward fold. And one thing I like to do, I don't know how many other people like to do this too, if you have a block, I like to put a block a lot of times just right on my feet or right in front of my feet, depending on how open I am that day, and just rest my forehead on that block. And it doesn't have to be the highest level or the lowest level, just something where you can really, really fall and be held in this pose rather than your muscles having to hold you there. So try that out, see if you like it. If not, that's cool too. And we'll take 3 more breaths in the seated butterfly. With your next inhale, start to press yourself back up. And this time we're gonna take both of our legs out in front. So you might have your feet about hip distance apart. My legs are gonna be a little wider, make room for my belly. So you might find that wider legs or legs closer together is more comfortable for you. Take a moment and just remove the flesh, the muscle from around your sit bones. You should feel nice and rooted in this seated posture. First, sit up nice and tall. Inhale, take your arms up. Exhale, reaching forward, forward fold. Flex those feet. Engage the legs in this stretch. And your hands can be on the outsides of your calves. They can be even under your thighs, wherever you can get a nice grip to help you pull a little deeper into that stretch. Relaxing though your shoulders away from your ears. Using your biceps to pull a little bit deeper. And one more breath. Nice and slowly coming up. And let's bring our feet all the way together. We're going to find our way onto our back. So I invite you all to start in a nice tall position with your hands out in front of you like you're holding a tray. You're going to inhale here and then exhale. Tuck your tailbone under and you're going to slowly roll down to your mat, one vertebrae at a time, all the way until you're completely flat on that mat. So just taking your time, using your breath. Once you are flat on your back, on your mat, I want you to draw your knees into your chest. Draw your knees into your chest and start to draw some circles with those knees. Taking the knees clockwise and counterclockwise. And then start to take your knees up toward one shoulder, up toward the right. And then back to center. Take your knees back to the left. One of my favorite ways to stretch your lower back, taking the knees right and left. Good. And then take your both knees wide. So take your right knee toward your right shoulder, left knee toward your left shoulder. And option to either stay here and just circle out the ankles. So I'm propped up on a bolster, but you will likely be flat on your back, and that's kind of how I intended it. But so if you're looking at the screen wondering what I'm doing, you should be flat on your back. And then when you're ready, if you'd like to come into a happy baby, taking your heels toward the sky. Now, this doesn't have to be full expression, right? So you can take your hands to the outsides of your calves or your shins. You can have your hands behind your knees, whatever works for you. Full expression with your hands on the outside edges of your feet, and you're pulling your knees toward the floor and kind of kicking your feet into your hands for that push-pull here. Happy baby pose. One more breath. And then releasing. And let's bring our feet together and our arms wide. And you're going to just windshield wiper the knees. So knees are together. And then you're going to drop them to the right and drop them to the left. Just nice slow movement. And then take both knees off to the right and find any twist variation that you like. So a gentle twist is going to be both knees just dropped off to the right, and arms open. You might have your knees and your hips at 90 degrees. You might even, if your knees are both to the right, you might even straighten that right leg and take just the left leg over and across for a deeper twist. Up to you, you know what's going to feel best. And let's just spend 3 to 5 breaths in that twist off to the right. And let's bring it back to center and change sides, both knees off to the left. And starting to take a scan of our body now from head to toe, even before we reach our Shavasana, to just relax all of our muscles, to become a little heavier, to be held by our mats. Where do you tend to hold tension? In your face, in your neck and shoulders, in your low abdominals. And then coming back to center, our last posture before our Shavasana, reclined butterfly, soles of the feet together, knees wide. I want you to take one hand on your belly and one hand on your heart. I want you to bring your attention, your awareness to the space on your body beneath your hands. So your belly and your heart. And paying attention to the rise and fall of your hands as your breath moves in and out. And then take that hand that's on your belly and stack it on top of the hand that's on your heart. Our physical heart means so much to our life. We literally can't survive without our physical heart working the way it needs to work. Our energetic heart has so much importance as well. How much we're able to open to one another, open to ourselves, to our families. And opening your heart can mean something different to everybody who's practicing tonight. So just kind of explore what that means to you over the next couple of days. How to lead with an open heart, how to love with an open heart. How to approach yourself with an open heart. And then from here, slowly start to straighten your legs, extending those legs out. Your hands can stay on your heart, they can drop to your sides as you find your Shavasana, your final resting pose, your practice today. And take another scan of your body from head to toe, especially those places you know you hold on to tension. And just see if you can relax, release, become a little bit heavier. Allow yourself to be a little bit more held by that mat.
draw some deeper breaths back to your body. As you start to move, I want you to shift your hips off to the right side of your mat. So take those hips to the right, and then take your feet, maybe cross your right ankle over the left, take your feet to the left, and your arms up above your head to the left as well. So you are in this like banana shape pose on your mat. Hips to the right, hands and feet to the left. And take 2 more breaths there. And then coming back to center, take your hips to the left. Feet and hands to the right. It always helps if I hook my left leg on top of my right foot. Arms up above your head, off to the right. One more breath. And then rolling off maybe to the right side since we're already there. And cradle your head in your arm for just a moment. Taking a breath or 2 before finding your way up to a seated position. And once you're in that seated pose, starting, or ending, I guess I should say, ending our practice the way we started today. Sitting up nice and tall, bow your chin to your chest. Palms are open or down on your knees. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, for choosing to be here, for choosing your yoga practice, for whatever it brings to you. I think it brings something unique and important to all of us. So whatever it is that you came here for today, I hope that you got it. And not only that, I hope you can take it off of your mat with you as well. I hope to see you again in the coming weeks. Please share the link to the class, as well as I'm going to be posting the classes in that, recording them, so feel free to share them. The more the merrier, I say for this class. So thank you for being here. It's always wonderful to see everybody. I hope you have a wonderful, peaceful rest of your evening, rest of your week, and we'll see you next time. Namaste.